Welcome to Racing News. In the show this week, they're often overlooked, but they are an integral part in the success of any yard. They take care of horses on a day-to-day basis. They're our grooms, and we chat to some of them about their work. But first, can the transportation of horses to the track affect their performance on race day? We chat with new turf loadmaster Philip Fourie and NHA veterinarian Ruan Sutherland to find out more. New turf carriers have been transporting horses since 1995, when the company was started by Dorrie and Mark Sham. They pride themselves on excellent service, punctuality and loyalty to clients, something all can testify to. In April 2016, they took over the transportation of horses in KZN to and from Greyville and Scottsville. And this is when many of us met Philip Fourie. You actually couldn't miss him. He appeared everywhere, wherever you looked, ensuring that horses were safely loaded, transported, and returned to the warmth of their stables at the end of the day. This self-proclaimed loadmaster soon developed a following amongst the racing fraternity. His enthusiasm proved infectious, and it was not surprising then that he was voted KZN Personality of the Year.
Philip Fourie from New Turf Carriers.
Philip, that must have been a wonderful accolade for you. What was your reaction?
Totally gobsmacked. Everybody knew about it excepting me. It was a wonderful surprise. Nice to know that you are appreciated, that people are watching what you do. You know, at the end of the day, a simple thank you from my boss is all that I need. Thank you very much to everybody. I don't know what to say. Thank you. Peace out. No, I won't tell a joke. Thank you.
The pride you take in your work is clear for all to see, right from your impressively maintained fleet of shiny trucks. Tell us about the fleet that you run.
We run 6 Ivecos here in Durban. The Cape have got their own fleet, and of course the long distance guys have got their own fleet. Yes, we do look after them.
What maintenance is actually done on the trucks?
They get their services every 15,000 kilometers at Iveco, and we check them out after every race meeting and of course the day before every race meeting.
Are your trucks governed at a particular speed?
Oh, most definitely. They can't go faster than 80. They are governed by the onboard computer.
As much as you care for your fleet, you care for the welfare of those horses you transport. What steps do you take to ensure the safe loading and travel of those in your care?
Michelle, we treat all the horses the same, from the first timer to the multiple Group 1 winner. We do separate the colts from the fillies. We're very strict on that. We can't have a mishap next to the road.
I've heard you speak of your special needs children. What are some of the challenges you face with both loading and travelling uptight horses?
Michelle, we call them special needs kids. They range from the total dilly to the very nervous, to those that have to get off the moment you start offloading. They tend to start jumping around, and that's when they can injure themselves. So we try and get to them very quickly at Greyville. And then we've got 2 that have got only one eye, that we load that in a position in the float that when they do turn to come out, that they can always see where they're going, if that makes sense to you, that they're not coming out with their blind eye, that they can't see where they're going.
A bell is rung to ensure that all stables are aware that loading is about to commence. How long is the trip from Summerveld to Greyville?
Approximately 45 minutes from Summerveld to Greyville, traffic permitting, and about an hour and a half from Ashburton.
What about to Scottsville?
Ashburton to Scottsville, I'd work on about 20 minutes, 25 minutes. It's just over the hill. From here, it's just on an hour.
How many horses in a float?
15 on a float.
And on an average race day, how many horses are you moving?
Today from Greyville, including the 2 lead ponies, there's 62 and 30 from Ashburton, which includes 2 gallopers.
Ruan, the safety of horses whilst being transported is of utmost importance. What controls and checks do you have in place once those horses arrive on course?
Okay, well, once they arrive, we usually an hour and a half before. So if a horse gets injured, we basically have to look at 3 things. When horses load, they can get injured, while they're in transit, and then when they get offloaded. We usually deal with horses that when they get offloaded or when they're injured in transit. The most common injuries are usually the point of the hips, because they go down, so your bony tuberances do get hurt badly, and then also the lower limbs. But as soon as Philip, our loadmaster, these drivers will report that there is something wrong, then he will contact us, and as the horse arrives, we'll be waiting for the horse. It's not that common, and it's usually your younger horses, more naive horses, and your repeat offender horses that are naughty and do silly things.
Philip makes a truck available during the week for horses that need to familiarise themselves with loading.
We do have a group of trainers that do bring their babies and their first timers, and horses that have been on a long layoff, as well as horses that are under suspension, just to try and calm their nerves down and get them, truck friendly.
So do you get to know just about every single horse and what their quirks are if they do have them?
Oh yes, we've learned them all.
Do you find some horses just travel better than other horses? And in your experience, would those horses who travel better perhaps be more settled and race better?
My opinion, I would think so, definitely, because a horse uses a lot of energy if they don't travel well. I think the same as in human athletes. If they don't travel well, they feel fatigued, and it sort of gets to them, where other horses that travel well, more relaxed, don't use energy, and they save everything for the race. So that's what I think.
The knowledge and competence with which Philip handles both the loading and offloading process is plain for all to see. Professionalism and efficiency are words that spring to mind.
Next one will be leaving here after race 5.
How did you first become involved in transport?
Actually started off in the horses, 1972 as an apprentice jockey, got as fat as a pig. Left, went to the Defence Force for a good couple of years, came out and I started to drive for blue chip carriers. It was 1987 for Ken Hall and Kerry Murphy. Always sort of like gravitated back to horse transport. I worked for Dorrie Sham for a long time. I went and worked on a stud farm, came back to Michael and Matthew Sham, went back to a stud farm, always after the money and the perks, and now back here.
What is it about this work that you enjoy so much?
Just the reward, I suppose, watching them get to the track, perform, make everybody happy and come home again.
And the horses couldn't be in better hands. You've a very special companion in Gothica. Tell us about her.
What's there to say? She's always with me everywhere I go, excepting races. I can't bring her to races because I think she'll chase the barrier trials. Maybe even compete, who knows?
Watching you in the yard this morning, I see Gothica literally shadows you wherever you go.
Yeah, that's her. She won't let me walk around alone if I'm sitting in the office. She is always lying on her little mat thing next to me, playing with her toys, irritating me with her squeaky toys. And yeah, that's her. She is on a race day. She is at home. I've got someone that will go and open up at about 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, and let her out a bit and let her exercise a bit, and also cook for her this evening. Tonight she's having liver.
What a spoiled child.
Oh yes, she is. She eats what I eat.
Tell us what happened to her.
Running in the yard. Sad actually, running in the yard at our depot, and she just snapped her leg. It just snapped. I think she stood in a mole hole, and it cost me an arm and a leg. Yeah, pardon the pun. Cost me an arm and a leg to get her repaired again. She's got a metal plate and metal screws that she'll have to have forever.
What are the names that you actually call her?
She's just the goth. She's known as the goth, yeah.
And she's well known in Summerveld, isn't she?
Very well known, yes. But although we stick to ourselves, people sort of like know who she is when they see her.
You're active on social media and often the very last person to post a message to say that all the horses have been returned safely to their stables. Is that the first time you can relax on a race day?
When I phone the last truck, which is normally the Ashburton vehicle, and the driver tells me they're all off and no injuries, that's when I'm officially over for the day.
And as for Ruan, we bid him adieu as he leaves Gold Circle shortly.
Well, Michelle, I'm going up to Joburg. I'm going to join the Gauteng group. So, yeah, a bit nervous, but interesting times ahead. I think it's good challenges for me in my own personal capacity. And I'm going to be sad leaving. I'm already sad. The background at Gravel is beautiful. I don't want to compare racetracks at the moment. But, yeah, I'm definitely going to miss it. I've got a great team of people here. To get back to Gold Circle, they've always been good to me. Really, whenever we've asked anything for the horses, they've put it in. They've put fans in for us. They put rubber matting in for us in our vet boxes. Whenever we ask, they're always there for the welfare and to help the horses improve and give the punter and the owners a good experience. And I think that's what racing is all about.
Well, we're going to miss you and we wish you all the best.
Well, definitely come and visit, and thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Horse racing in South Africa employs approximately 3,000 grooms, with a further 2,000 based on stud farms in our breeding sector. They are our single biggest stakeholder and play a pivotal role in the success of our industry. They made headlines several months ago, raising their concerns somewhat forcefully about wages and living conditions. With rising inflation and a pressurized economy, racing operators have been hard-pressed to keep pace with stakes. Throw in the escalating costs of feed, bedding, shoeing and veterinary care. Trainers and stud farm managers have been hard-pressed to keep their heads above water. It was perhaps unrealistic to assume that our industry would be exempt from labour action, as almost every other sector in the South African economy has had to deal with it at some stage. However, a new minimum wage was agreed upon and efforts undertaken to improve living conditions. All this does not detract from the key function grooms play, not only in the day-to-day activities of a stable yard or stud farm, but ultimately in the success of a horse on the track. We caught up with a few of them at Gravel recently, and yes, whilst there were some who preferred not to engage with us, there were many others who were only too willing to share their love for what they do and even encourage others.
I like animals. I like my work. Yeah.
Because you see the horses, ma'am, they are full wonderful creatures, ma'am. So they you take care of them, they take care of you. Because they don't just run for fun, they run for us, for all the nation.
You're a hard-working man, Vusi. What is it about horses that you enjoy so much?
I've been with the horse a long time now. They're part of my life.
I like it horses so much. I'm working for the horses long time. That's why I like it horses. And then horses keep me happy all the time. That's why I like horses.
I like the horse. Even the horse is naughty, I make it sure I must create a relationship between the horse with me. Everything it tend to be easy because I understand the horse. If he does things, I make it sure what kind of things I can make him to understand me too. That's how I deal with these horses.
You've got to be very dedicated with your work. You get up early in the morning, don't you?
Yes, I wake up early in the morning, clean manger, I make it sure I must see the horses leave the food in the manger. And I must make sure the horse is maybe rolled inside the box. I must see that. Sometimes the other one, he hit himself before early in the morning or so the leg is swelling. I must report all that. If you need to do a bandage, I must put a sweat bandage. Sometimes I used to finish to work 10:30 to 11 and I go straight to my bed. I just flattered until 3 o'clock. Yeah, all that. It's a lot of job is around the horses. People, they don't understand. They see we come with the horses at the racing. They never know what happened behind.
Yeah, I'm like it because it's saving me, my life, and because I'm sleeping, I'm eating, I'm getting the money to support my family.
Yes.
That is why I'm working here.
Okay. Unlike grooms in international countries, in South Africa, they are essentially men and breadwinners supporting families. It goes without saying then that their wages are paramount and motivating factors in their work.
No, I like the animals. So, where's the horses? Yeah, because it's work hard and give some money. Yeah.
Into endiyithanda ndithanda ukusebenzisa amahashi. ngithola imali ngamahhashi. Njengoba ndinemali nje nemali ngamahhashi.
Do you get great pleasure when your horse runs well?
Big time, man, big time. Because you know when the horse wins, you get something from the boss. And maybe the owners, they give you something as well.
Yeah, if you win, it's very, very happy because the trainers, his game is up. He's giving you present, you help your family.
That's a very good thing.
Very good, thank you.
Vusi is a role model to others as how it's possible to progress within this chosen career.
I'm started from to be a groom and then I moved to a head boy. Now I'm balancing two things, head boy and deputy assistant trainer. Sometimes my boss is not here or Roy is not here. I must carry on to train also at the track and do all things at the yard. Sometimes you see me, I'm dealing with the garden. Sometimes you see me, I'm dealing with something inside the office or outside the yard. All things around the Lefetis yard is belong to me.
Yeah, kumnandi ngoba ukusebenza la emashini kwesinye isikhathi ngoba uyathola nolwazi ukuthi uphinde uhambe uyosebenza kwenye indawo. And futhi kwesinye isikhathi ngoba isikhathini samanje umsebenzi ayisatholakali kahle hle.
Yeah, my job, I like it because keep me busy. I like to be a busy person all the time. I have no time to sit and talk and joking now. If I'm at my job, I like to be up and down until I finish my job.
I'm very happy for groom, for 24 horses. Yes.
Why?
My job. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm enjoying for riding horses, and it's my future.
Would you like to encourage other people to come and work with horses too?
Yes, I like it because I like it teaching all the guys nicely, even for young one, even for big one, come to teaching very nice. And I'm good for teaching for them.
I would like to encourage the guys to come if they want to come work with the horses, to work with the horses, to teach them how to work the horses and ride the horses as well.
That's it for this week's show. Keep your suggestions coming and we'll see you all again in a fortnight. Until then, we wish you all happy and profitable racing.
Ask in Afrikaans, please.
Ja.
Solo en
Philip.
Rosa?
Hoeveel perde? The Racing News Show and previous screenings are available online at www.goldcircle.co.za. Click on the YouTube icon, go to playlists and click on Racing News to access all shows to date.